Welcome back to Road America for round 22 of Old Folks Racing PS4. Now, yesterday we already had a race. It was won by Kev Allen, who is also your championship leader. Andy Booth was second and Simon Allen was third. As with yesterday, we expect a very tight, very exciting race with lots of action. Now, qualifying saw a carbon copy of yesterday with Kev and Simon Allen in the first row, Andy Booth and Diogo Silva in the second row. And will the start be a carbon copy of yesterday? Here is Andy Booth again on the outside of Simon Allen. That's what happened yesterday. He ended up running wide, and there's people crashing already at the back. Two Ferraris off the track already, and Simon Allen takes the lead. And Kev Allen, this time, he's the one that runs wide into turn 2. Kev Allen has lost a lot of place. He's lost a lot of positions. Diogo, Simon, Jambo, and there is Kev Allen. He's in 5th place. He's got a lot of work to do, but Andy Booth already run wide, just like yesterday. This time in turn 2. Everyone is running wide and already off the track. Multiple errors, and Simon Allen has a great lead already into turn 4. Let's see if we see any action like yesterday. We got two red Ferraris. That's Jambo and Kev Allen. The touch, and Jambo is now hit by multiple drivers. It's again carnage. They were not happy with the mess they made yesterday, so they made it all over again. There was a Ferrari running backwards there. Jambo is now in 11th place and has a lot of work to do, and his cooling area is now much cooler because the air is coming directly into his engine. In the meantime, Kev Allen bizarrely has gone up to 3rd place with all this mess. He's now running behind Diogo Silva, who somehow has managed to go up to 2nd, and Simon Allen has now already a huge lead of 1.4 seconds, and we are still to finish the first lap. Todd Antonio is in 7th place. That's the highest we have seen him run for a while. Let's see if he can hold to that position, get a solid points result today, benefiting from multiple other drivers making errors. He's running in front of Andy Bramall, who we didn't quite see what happened there on the first lap, but it seems to be involved in some of these crashes. He's got another race with a lot of work to do. He needs to go back to the front if he wants to continue challenging for 3rd place in this championship. And Todd Antonio, not only he's running in 7th, he's actually now right on the gearbox of Scott Davley, and this is the end of the first lap, and this is the fight for 6th place. Let's see how this evolves. Meanwhile, Kev Allen has now reached the gearbox of Diogo Silva and is trying to make a move into turn 2. Will it work out? Kev Allen on the inside. Diogo, will he defend? No, he lets him through. But now Kev has a bad exit. Gone to the grass there, and Diogo is again side by side with him. TV cameras just moved away from this battle for 2nd place, and now follow Andy Bramall trying to make a recovery race. Now he has reached Todd Antonio and is trying to make a move into turn 4. This is the battle for 7th. We are on the 2nd lap of 10. Just like yesterday, this race is 10 laps, is not the usual 12, and Andy is going to outbrake Todd, and job done. Well done, Andy. Andy definitely recovering to 7th place, and now looking up the track and reaching Scott Davley, who is trying to hold dearly for his 6th place. Another strong run in the early stages, and he's running to the grass. Strong run, and now he's running to the grass. Let's see, he keeps 6th place, but he's now got his mirrors full of yellow Ferrari of Andy Bramall. Let's see how much time Andy will require to, and Scott has spun again. And he's given up that amazing 6th place to Andy Bramall, and he's now going to go back to the field. Jambo is still running 11th, and Stuart Brand, we have not seen too much of him, but it seems he was affected by the different crashes on the first lap. He's running last and outside of the points. And as the Old Folks Racing field grows, the battle becomes one of battling 4 points. 11th place, 0 points. 10th place, 1 point, and that's what Stuart is going to be looking at quite shortly, whether he's going to be able to get into Jumbo's gearbox and overtake him is another matter. Scott definitely has dropped to 9th with that spin at the carousel, and he is looking to recover from that as well. We're now following Andy Booth. He is in 4th place. He again avoided quite nicely all the different tangling on the first lap. He lost a bit of time, but he's now trying to recover to get yet another good result in this race. Yesterday he was 2nd, which was an excellent finish for him. Today he's targeting now 3rd place. Let's see what Diogo can do in terms of defending. These two obviously have a long history of coming together, sometimes with disastrous consequences for both drivers. Let's see if they continue the good run they had since last race, and if they at least avoid damage and losing time. Meanwhile, we see Scott now going back to Todd, and Todd is now weaving quite a bit, and that includes Scott is also weaving. I wonder how many beers they have had already this evening, and Todd is now spun and got back with very good use of the reset button, which nicely has turned him the right way again quite quickly, and he is in the grassy grain. And as I said, I wonder how many beers some of these guys have had already. Following Diogo Silva, he's in 3rd place. He started in 4th and he was up to 2nd after the first lap. He's now trying to defend from Andy Booth, and in the meantime, Kev Allen wasted no time in getting close to Simon Allen. So this time we are going to see a battle for the lead, which we did not see in the last race. Last race Kev Allen started well, kept his cool together and disappeared into the distance. This time Simon Allen has not been able to do the same, so very soon he is going to be defending from Kev Allen, and these of course are our championship leaders. There are some championship implications of what's going on here. Simon Allen is in 2nd place. I've lost the count on how many points he's behind, but I believe it's 25 or 30 points. He definitely needs to finish in front of Kev if he wants to have any chance of wrapping up the championship in the remaining races, which of course in Old Folks Racing no one knows how many races are remaining. It's a well-kept secret, and we'll only find out that the last weekend is the last weekend when we are actually running it. So we don't actually know how many races does Simon Allen have to recover all the points that he's lost in the last few races. He's done well on a number of occasions, but in other races has collected quite a long list of 3rd places, whilst Kev Allen has generally won more races and also gotten more 2nd places. That's what makes him our championship leader at the moment. Anyway, these two were closer in the last lap than now. Kev has lost a little bit of time there. I wonder if he has made any mistake or if he has some sort of problem with his car. The difference is now almost 2 seconds. We are on lap 4 already, and we continue to see all sorts of... And Scott has spun again. This turn 6 is proving to be quite a nasty turn. Again, good use of the reset button there, and he gets hit by someone. That was Todd Antonio, and he spun again, and now he's lost his bonnet again. That should help the cooling, that should make his car cool better. Let's see if that improves his pace or not. But Scott again a little bit unlucky to lose yet more time and get hit by Todd Antonio, who is now still in 8th place, and he will be looking to collect his first points of this round. Last race, of course, he finished 11th and collected no points. In the meantime, we are back with on board, or in fact we are following behind Andy Booth in this very nice camera. Now we are on board with him, and he continues to chase Diogo Silva for 3rd. These two have not really been too close to each other. Let's see if Andy manages to recover that difference, which is now around 1 second. In the meantime, Kev Allen is perhaps trying to make his time is on his side. He can just stay a little bit behind Simon. cool down his brakes, generally cool down a little bit, enjoy another beer, and then go back on the attack for the lead. We still have around 5 laps remaining. We are about to reach the halfway point of this race at the end of this lap, and Andy Booth brakes very late for turn 4, and Diogo has a better exit, so Diogo is actually managing to recover a little bit of the time he lost in the prior 2 laps. Could Diogo actually score another podium here? He hasn't scored the podium in a while. The last one was in the touring car race. That was a spectacular race in Oulton Park, and now Andy Bramall has spun and he was in 6th place. He was trying to get 5th from Phil. He hasn't got the reset button very well set up. He's going backwards into the grass, which is quite slippery in the circuit, and he has lost a little bit more time, so I would strongly recommend Andy to create a shortcut in his wheel for the reset button. It definitely helps in these circumstances. He is now behind Brian Hestang in 7th place. Let's see if he can at least go back to 6th. Again, Diogo Silva is running a very solid 3rd. Diogo has already finished ahead of Andy in the last race. He was 4th and Andy was 5th, and now Diogo is in a good position here to recover some more points and continue to challenge for that 3rd place in the championship. However, he must not be thinking very much about that at the moment, because Andy Booth is right in his mirrors, and that's again full of yellow in Diogo's mirrors. Andy is trying to line up a move. Can he make a move into turn 1? Can he brake later? It doesn't seem he's close enough. He is already in the DRS zone if these cars had DRS, which of course they don't. Turn 2, and Andy is actually very, very close. He's trying to go through the inside. Diogo protects the inside. Let's see in the run up to turn 4 if Andy is able to strike a move for the podium here. This is the battle for the last place in the podium. Diogo will be cautious, but he will be also very solid in his defense, as he usually in these circumstances. Into turn 4 again, Andy has braked very late, and Diogo has managed a better exit, but now they are very, very close together. What would be the best place for Andy to make a move? He must be thinking about it at this stage. It seems like turn 1, turn 2 is the area where Andy manages to get a little bit more speed outside of the corners, and that's maybe where the pass will happen. Here we are, just before the carousel, and Diogo has lost it. Diogo has lost it, and he's in the grass as well. He's in the grass. He has not used the reset button either, but he manages to recover quite quickly, but he has basically messed up. He has lost a very good 3rd place, and now he's back into a natural position of 4th. How will he be able to defend it? Here we've got another battle, which is Jambo trying to make a move on Todd Antonio. Remember that Jambo got hit very badly on the 1st lap. He was flying in the air. Thankfully he landed the right way, and he was able to continue the race with no further dramas. He's now running in 8th place. Todd obviously running 7th, and now they're going through the carousel, and Jambo must be thinking that he needs to make a move quite quickly, also because Stuart Brand is closing up on the pair of them. So maybe we've got a 3-way battle for 7th place lined up here, which would be quite nice to see. Through the kink, flat out through the kink, everyone. The tires are up to temperature. Thought they're going a little bit into the grass, but now Jambo is really behind me in Canada corner. Will he make a move on the outside? That's an unusual move in Canada corner. Won't really work, but Jambo must be thinking that he's losing loads of time behind Todd, and now Stewart is really getting to the pair of them, and I wonder how this is going to end. I sense that it may not end very well for these 3 drivers. Let's see, through the last corner, Todd makes a good line there, but slightly slow on the exit, and now weaving a little bit. I wonder how many beers he has had, and he has crashed against Jambo. No, he's not. It's crashed against Stewart. Around goes Todd Antonio, around goes Stewart, destroys one of the advertisements there. I wonder what the organizers are going to think about that. But net, the final effect is that Stewart and Bramall are both in front of Todd Antonio, who has now dropped to 9th, but he's making a move on Stewart. I apologize. He's making a move on Stewart. Will he make it stick? No, he won't, because he ran wide on turn 1 and Stewart has gone through again. And here comes Scott Beverly on him and he hits Todd Antonio from behind. Hits Todd Antonio from behind in turn 3. Let's see, Todd continues to weave around a little bit, zigzagging. I wonder how many beers he has had as well, because this sort of zigzagging on a straight is not usual to see in old folks racing, except for most of the drivers. Todd is now into 10th. He's still scoring a point, and he's going back to 9th because Scott Beverly has missed the braking point in turn 4 and has lost yet another time. Who says thank you to all of this? That is Brian Hastings. Brian has been recovering from poor first few laps, and now there's more battles into the carousel, and off goes Scott Beverly. I think he believed he went into the grass and in the barrier. That's not the carousel, I'm sorry, that's turn 6. All sorts of action happening between these 3 drivers, or 4 drivers in fact. They're all struggling for grip, they're all struggling to keep their cars on the black stuff, and I wonder if the track is getting slower because now Scott is again off the track. I wonder if there's some sort of oil or another fluid by another driver that is causing all of this, or if these drivers have just run out of talent. Anyway, Todd continues to weave. He's now trying to defend from Brian Hastings into the kink and now into Canada corner. Brian is on the inside, but Todd is really defending. Brian makes a move, not close enough, through Canada corner. And now Scott Beverly is in 11th. He's outside of the points and he's now in the grass again. He's out of the points, he's in the grass, he's losing time, and he needs to get back at these 2 drivers if he wants to score a point. We are already in lap 8, and this is the best battle right now on the entire field, the battle for 9th place. Some positions up front are more or less stabilized because Simon Allen is leading Kev Allen 1.6 seconds, but that difference hasn't really moved that much in the last few laps. Andy Booth is too far behind, he's 10 seconds behind Kev, and Diogo Silva is now 4 seconds behind Andy. And now these 2 have crashed again. Brian Hastings trying to make a move on Todd Antonio and hits the back of Todd in turn 1. Todd manages to keep it together and keep in front. He's really fighting for his life there, and 2 championship points that he really would like to get out of this second race after failing to score in the first. Meanwhile, all of this is allowing, again, Scott Beverly to close up on the pair of them. And now we've got the crash. We've got the crash. That is Kev Allen. Kev Allen has lost time, and I think since we are on lap 8, this might be the end of his challenge for the race lead. He's now 3.5 seconds and counting behind Simon Allen, and Brian Hastings has also spun. I wonder really if the track has some sort of fluid or some sort of oil, or if it's just losing grip due to track temperature. These drivers are really struggling to keep the cars on the black stuff. I wonder really what's going on here. But as we know, the battles continue for any place throughout the field in Old Folks Racing PS4. You do not find a more competitive championship than this one on the PS4 for Project Cars 2. Here is again the battle. Now for the last point. Scott Beverly has gone up to 10 because Brian Hastings has had that spin that we were talking about just a couple of seconds ago. Through the king, flat out, Todd Antonio is really maintaining 9th place. He's doing a nice job there in this race. He's been 7th, he's been 8th, he's been 9th, he's been 10th, but he has defended like a pro, and now he's in the grass again and he's off. And he's off. He's off into the sand, and oh, Scott has spun as well. And Brian Hastings is going to no, and Todd and Scott now get together. This is incredible stuff, really. These guys are providing all the excitement that we need for this race because all the drivers up front are relatively stabilized in their positions as long as no surprises happen, which of course in Old Folks Racing they always happen. We are on lap 9. These Ferraris have lost a lot of weight. They've become a lot lighter. Perhaps that will help with top speed. Perhaps that will help also get a bit more grip for these drivers. But there are a lot of debris for the crowd to collect at the end of the race. Brian Hastings is now in 11th. He has his bouncing Ferrari. He runs wide on turn 1. Scott also runs wide. We've got some dancing front wings in these Ferraris for all these drivers, and now in turn 2 Brian does it well. Slightly odd line there, but managed to keep in one piece on the black stuff. He's trying to defend from Scott. No, sorry, it's actually Scott defending from Brian. It's the other way around. As I mentioned yesterday, very difficult to commentate with all these red Ferraris. They should really assign liveries in all folk racing, and Scott has crashed into Todd Antonio. Scott has crashed into Todd Antonio, missed his braking point. Poor Todd has now lost the position. However, he has recovered both of them because Brian Hastings and Todd has spun again. Really, this is Ferrari on ice. Are we doing ice rallycross here? Because these drivers have generally just been spinning almost every other corner. Here's Brian Hastings into the grass. He avoids a spin though. Back to the front of the field. This is lap 10. Kev Allen is holding on to second place. He has gained some time on Simon Allen. It was 3.5 over the last lap. Now it's 2 seconds. Kev is really making a move. No, he's not, because he's spun in turn 4. He's yet another victim of the very icy track that we see here in Road America. I wonder what's going on, but really it's unusual to see this amount of spinning. And Kev has again run wide on turn 5. Incredible. Simon Allen is running on rails. He has not made a mistake with that yellow 31. He's finished third in the last race and is now going to add a victory in race 2, keeping his championship hopes alive to the next rounds. Let's see if he can avoid making mistakes. These are the last few corners. Off the carousel, flat out through the king for the last time. The checkered flag is in the air waiting for Simon Allen for his, I believe, his 6th win of the season, according to my records. I'm not the official record keeper, but that's what my records say. Simon going slowly and cautiously through Canada corner for the last time. He's really already thinking about the champagne of the podium that is waiting for him. 3 corners to go, 2 corners to go, and here's the last corner, and Simon Allen has made an incredible race. No mistakes, kept it in one piece, got the lead in the first corner, never lost it, and Simon Allen is your winner of race 2 here in Road America. Well done, Simon. Yet another victory. Second place, Kev Allen. He's done a couple of mistakes, that's unusual from him, but it's a bad day for Kev, and it's still second place. That's what championships are made of. That's how champions earn their championships. Third place, Andy Booth. Again, he managed to get 2 consecutive results without tangling with anyone. If only he could be a bit more consistent, he would be challenging for a higher place in this championship. 4th place for Diogo Silva, just like yesterday. 5th for Phil. We haven't seen too much of him, but that was for a good reason. He's done a top 5. He's got a few top 5s already, and he's done a great job today. Andy Bramall has recovered to 6th. He has had a quiet race after some infuriating first laps, and he's lost some more points in the battle for 3rd, but he's still holding on to that 3rd place into the next round. Jambo recovers to 7th, courtesy of all the drivers behind him basically spinning almost every lap. It's not a great result for Jambo, but I'm sure he'll be also looking forward to next week doing again the type of results that he has used to give us in the past. There's a flying nose cone because Stuart Brand, who is in 8th place, decided that it was a good idea to hit that nose cone in the last lap, just as a celebratory farewell to Road America. Drivers have loved this circuit, and I'm sure they will be quite keen to come back here in the next championship. Brian Hastings is in 9th. Again, he has fluctuated quite nicely between 9th, 10th and 11th, but what matters is what happens in the last lap, and in the last lap Brian is in 9th and gets 2 very well-deserved championship points. And here is Todd Antonio. Well done to Todd. He's finished 10th. Scott Davely has finished in 11th. So that was all from Road America. See you next round.